Do you know how to define a string in Python? Do you know how to convert any string into number like integer, float, octal, and hex and back? Do you know why this type of conversion is so important in VLSI? Stay tuned till the end of the video to know all the answers.
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the below points. First, we will visit the variables, which are also known as literals. They are divisions in our chart, which we have already discussed in last episode. We'll talk about what we have covered and what we will cover in today's episode from that chart. Next, we will provide a short introduction to the strings in Python. Next, we will make you understand the string syntax by a simple example. Next, we will go in detail why we should learn converting string to number and back, because numbers we have already covered in last episode. String we will be covering this episode. With respect to the Python in VLSI, what is the importance of converting string to number and back in VLSI we will talk about. Next, we'll go for detailed example for the conversion of string to integer and back. Next, we will cover string to float and back through example. Next, we will talk about conversion of string to octal and back. Next, we'll cover the string to hexadecimal and back. And whatever significance we discuss here in this point will be exemplified through this next 4 slides. Without any further delay, let's begin. Variables. This is the table that we have already discussed in last episode. Now, in last episode, we have covered the integer, the float, and we are not discussing at all the imaginary. So you don't have to bother about imaginary. In this episode, we will cover string. We will cover all the literals that are necessary for you. So let's move on to the next slide. We are done here. Strings in Python. Let me introduce you to the strings concept in Python. A string is usually a stream of text you want to display in the screen or write into a file. So this is a generic definition of a string, what you call a string in programming language, obviously, and specifically in Python. Next, Python identifies strings with double quotes or single quotes around the text. Backslash can be used to escape quotes and print as regular characters. This means inside a string you want to print the double quote or single quote. You have to use a backslash to do that. So far, it is very similar in case you have already learned the Perl. To print a string, we use the print function in Python. Obviously, in Python 3.0 above, you have to use a pair of brackets. The first bracket pair you have to use in print function. Earlier Python code did not need it, but from Python 3.0, you need it. Print function accepts format specifier %, followed by the variable you have seen already, because in last episode we have exemplified the format specifier. In case you have not watched, please go to the playlist and from there watch the last episode. For multiple variables, you need to put them inside parentheses separated by commas. So this is very important to this, and both of these are exemplified in last episode. So you have a clear example already in case you have covered the episode. We are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. Your first string example. So here starts our Python code with the first line is the Python interpreter. This is the path of the Python interpreter inside Linux. In case you are using a Windows, this should not be there, and only the rest of the code should be there where you are running the code through Genie, as I have shown you already in the installation episode. Next, s equal to within first quote, first line, top, then we have a \n. You know this, right, from the C language. This is a new line character, and then we have the second line. Next, we print s to this print s command, and here you can see there is a pair of first bracket. Next, we write the same line with r, and again we have the print command. So here is the output. So you can see that the first print, the first line and the second line are into separate lines. But when we put R, what it becomes? It becomes a single line. That means if we put a R here, it will not use this as a new line character. Now, what is R? R is the syntax for the raw string. So in case you want to have the entire thing here, whatever thing you are writing as is to be printed, you just insert a small r there as a raw string. I write R A W, the raw string. So this R is here, this R. So the raw string, in case we have to print and without any modification, it should go ahead and print. So in that case, we have to use a R here. This is a beauty of Python. You have a lot of tools here to write and modify the string. This is your first one you see in your first string example. So here we are done. Let us move on to the next slide. Why learn converting string to number and back? So in the classification slide, we have seen that there is string, there is number, that means integer and float. And in last episode, we also talked about there are number system like octal and hexadecimal. Now, why we want to convert string into number and back? We get the string as is, right? This is your question. And why should we convert at all? So here goes your motivation to learn the conversion. These type of conversions are very important in front end because you have to deal with test vectors. This is the very important thing. In front end, there will be a lot of test vectors, whether you are designing RTL or you are working as a verification engineer. In case you are using the Python automation, the Python code has to go through a lot of test vectors. So here I mention either generation or validation. Generation means you are generating the RTL, or validation means you are working as a verification engineer, or it could be a simple RTL validation. Next, in Python, when we parse anything, we parse everything as string. This is the important concept you should pin to your mind. So the conversion is necessary. That means whenever you are parsing something, you are parsing it as a string. In Python automation, you are reading a file through Python and you are getting a hexadecimal number or a octal number or a simple int or a float. You are getting it as a string, not as the expected data type. So you are parsing it as a string. This is the most important thing you should remember before you handle the string, before you handle the parsing, before you handle the Python automation. Now, here comes the next interesting point. The test vector values for a bus may be in octal or hex number. So you are having a bus which is sending bits or receiving bits. So the communication can be in octal or hex number system and you are reading it as string. Now there is no chance or that you can use it as is. You have to convert it in the respective number system to include it in the mathematics or the validation. Next, you may have to modify according to your need. That means whatever need you have to modify it or not modify it as per your need. Conversation for integers and real numbers, it is very straightforward. We use the built-in int and the float type constructors. So for integer, we use int. For real number, that is floating point number, we use float type constructors. These are the functions that you will be using to convert a number which is parsed as a string but has to be converted into int or float. Next, we have a short example. Int 542 gives 542 as an integer and then this float. So inside this, within first quote, right, this is and also this is inside whatever we have, it is a string and this gives a float 542.0. A simple example how this works. For octal and hexadecimal, a leading 0 indicates with O as octal and 0 with X indicate as a hex number. So this is we have already talked in last episode, right? And now you are learning the significance, why you are learning the octal and hex at all when you are learning Python. We have examples in detail in upcoming slides, so we will not go in detail for the octal and hexadecimal here. Here we are done explaining you the significance of learning the conversion of string into the number, whether it is int, float, octal or hexadecimal number, whatever type of number it is. This is the importance. We are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. Here we will learn the conversion of string to integer and back to an example. First, here is our Python interpreter. This will be needed in case you are using Linux. In Windows, you don't need it. Here goes our comment that converts string to integer. You should put such comment so that when you code something at later point, maybe 6 months later, if you open that code, you will be able to identify easily what you have done with that particular code. Now we have a variable which is a string and we name it as string_num. and then we have a integer underscore num, which will be a integer type, and we convert this particular string number into integer using int and then string underscore number. Next, we have a print statement, string to integer. Then we write the original string is string number. Then we print the converted integer is integer number. So this is, we are converting first string to integer. So this is the code. Now here we can do the type checking using the type function, and here we write the type of the converted integer is this. Next, we convert the integer back into string. So we may need it, we may not need it, but you should learn it. Next, we convert the string, that means a converted string, with the str function. Earlier it was int, right? Now it is str. Here is our integer number. The integer number is this one which got converted. Next, we print the header integer to string. Next, we write the converted integer, that is integer number, and then we write in which it is converted. So the converted string. Now we are converting integer into string. Next, we have the type of the converted string, checking with done with the type function. And finally, when we run the code in our terminal, we get this out. First, here string is 42, converted integer is 42, and here you can see the type of the converted integer is int, right? The type. So this type function gives this result. Why we are doing this? Because on screen these two look same. You don't know the difference, but the type checker does it. Now in the second one, we have the converted integer as 42, and now we are converting back into string, so 42, and now we are checking the type here, right? And these goes here like the str. So the first conversion turned into int and the second conversion turned into str. So we have properly converted one type into another. That means string to integer and back we have done here to this example. These codes are available in the description to download from the GitHub. You can download from there and practice and modify them as per your need. Here we will convert string to float and back to an example. First, we have the Python interpreter. Then we have our comment, that is converting string to a float. This could be a practice for you to keep a comment so that you understand what you are doing in the code. At some time later point, maybe 6 months when has elapsed. That time, if you open the code, you will understand what you have done 6 months earlier. So here we have a string float. So this is a string and we contain a float, that is 3.1. And then we have a float variable. And how we do that? We convert this string here to the function float. And we type here string to float. We are printing now for checking. Original string is string float and the converted one is a float. Okay. Now again on screen these two will look same. How to check the type? Here we will check the type with the type function. Next, convert the float back into string. First, converted string float. We have str function similar to the float function here. We have str function here to convert the floating number into string. Now we type float to string and then we print the converted float, the floating number and the converted string. Why we write converted float? Because this was not originally float. So this was converted in the earlier step, right? So we kept this printing same, this and this same. And now converted string float. Okay. And here we do the type checking because on screen these two outputs will look same. We do the type checking with the type function. And when we run the code here, we get this output. And so here this is string, right? And this is your float number which is converted. Now we do the type checking here and it is float. Similarly, we have the converted float, that is the floating number, and we have the string. Now on screen these two look same. So we do the type checking here and it is. So this way you can convert a float into string and do the reverse. You can download the code from the description and from the GitHub link that already provided in the video description. So we are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. String to octal and back. In this example, we will convert string into octal and do the reverse. First is our Python interpreter. Next, we have our comment, that is converting string to octal. First, we have string number 42 and then we have our octal number and we are using octal conversion. But remember one thing, we cannot directly convert from string to octals. We need a two-step process. First, we convert string to int, that means integer, that means it's a number, not a string. And then we convert that integer into octal. So this is a two-step process. You have to keep it on mind. So you cannot directly give the oct and then the string. So this is a two-step process. This is very different from the previous slide. For octal and hex, you have to do a two-step process. Next, we write string to octal for the printing. And then we have our printing of the string number. And then we have the printing of the octal number. And on screen, you will be able to see the difference. So we are not doing the type checking here. Convert octal and back to the string. In the next set of lines, we will convert the octal, which we have achieved here, back to string. So here we are writing the converted string. Now this is also a two-step process. So we have an octal number, and here we are keeping the base, right, for the integer, right, since it is dealing with all the numbers, right? So we keep a base 8. 8 means octal, and here we give the octal number. And first it is converted into int, and then it is converted into str. So you keep this pinned in your mind that either the forward conversion or the backward conversion, both is a two-step process. Here is the difference. Here you don't have to give any base or something, but when you are converting it back, that means you are converting into string, and from an octal number you have to give the base, because otherwise you will not know whether this is a octal, this is a hex or something like that, to the int function. So int function will identify with the base, this is a octal type of number, and it will convert into int. Next, we give a print header. Next, we print the octal number. Next, we print the converted string. And as we run this code in terminal, we get this below output. So first here was our string, and here you can see it has converted to octal, right? Visually it is very different. So here is 0 and then octals O and then the octal number system 5 2. These are octal, these are not decimal. Now we are converting octal back to string. First goes our octal number and then goes back to our string. We go back to its original stage. So remember, this was a two-step process, and this is also a two-step process, which is a striking difference from previous slide. We are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. String to hexadecimal and back. We start our code with the Python interpreter. Next, we have the comment, that is converting string to hexadecimal. First, we have a string number 42, and then we do the conversion. And here you can see it is also a two-step conversion. First, we convert the string into integer, and then we convert integer into hex. So this cannot be done omitting the integer. So this has to be done. This is how it is designed in Python. You cannot skip this step, intermediate step. Otherwise, it will be very problematic. Next, we have string to hexadecimal, the header printed. Next, we print the original string, and then we print the hexadecimal number. And visually this will be different, so we are not doing the type checking here. Next, we convert the hexadecimal back into string. First, we have the converted string, and you can see we are using the same method, int, and then we have the hexadecimal number. And since it is hexadecimal, the base is 16, we are using its base in the int conversion function, right? And to identify this as a hexadecimal and not as a octal or a decimal. So it goes to int, and then this int in is converted into string by the two-step process. Next, we have a header, hexadecimal to string. Then we have the converted hexadecimal number here, and then we have the converted string. Once we run the code, this output comes. Now let me correlate. First, here goes the string, and here you can see the hexadecimal. So you can see the 0x of the hexadecimal, and 2a, it is the hexadecimal number system. So it has been converted successfully to hexadecimal format. And the reverse, here we go, we take it as a input 0x2a, right? And the converted string is 42 to back to its original form. So here one thing you should also notice, that forward conversion or the backward conversion, that means when you parse as a string and convert it into hex, or you convert it into again to string, both are two-step process. It is not a single step process. This two-step process is applicable to octal and hexadecimal numbers, as we have seen in last two slides. So here we are done with the conversion. You will get the code in the description. Download it from the GitHub. So let us move on to the next slide. Thank you very much for watching up to this point, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In case you have some dislikes, put that as in words in the comment section down below, and bye for today.